if Joe Biden had not been the presumptive nominee, he was never the nominee. Let's make that clear. There would have been more notice that Donald Trump is not just in untreated syphilis mode, but also in sort of like going off the la la land mode.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, he's officially the oldest party nominee for president. I mean, Biden would have taken that cake if he ended up being the official nominee, but he's officially the oldest, and he's been running for president for 10 years. For 10 years,
the
Donald Trump
entire
has
time
been running
I've
for
been
president.
doing this professionally.
Yeah.
Basically.
Is that right?
Yeah, because I started 2015 election season.
Jesus, I feel bad for you.
I know.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Well, you too, right?
I mean, no, I started in 2016, so right after. Yeah, I mean, but it's been like there's a whole generations of kids that just like don't even really remember Obama and just only know Trump in their political life for the most part.
God.
It's amazing. But I just think there is a lot of fatigue, both from the general public about Donald Trump, and then clearly with him in the campaigning. He's not he's not filling stadiums in the way that he used to. His rallies are way harder to follow. Like back in 2016, and my first event ever covering things like as an intern at TYT was going to a Trump event in New York where he was giving a speech after Bernie Sanders had officially withdrawn. And he was knowingly kind of co-opting some of what Sanders was saying. I'm going to give you health care for all. He was right. Hillary is corrupt. She's in the swamp, etc. These were messages that actually had resonance and made sense for the political time period. But now he's just like rambling about windmills and 200% tariffs, pissing off the business press in that regard. And he clearly doesn't care about this anymore. This, I felt like, was a pretty good example.
Which one is this? Is this in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, this is in Oaks, Pennsylvania, too. This is none sheep, but this is kind of setting it off before they started.
He's there with Kristi Noem, probably wishing like I should have picked her, but she's a girl. And this is coming after, so he may be a little sensitive to this because this is coming after apparently he did a rally in Coachella. We'll play a clip from that. And not the actual Coachella, like Coachella adjacent, where I guess you don't have to pay as much. And he people passed out at that rally because it was so hot. And then they stranded like all the people out in the desert. And
which happened.
He did that
before.
in 2020 with Omaha. In Omaha, do you remember?
When it was cold.
Because they're cheaping out on the buses to
100%.
take people from the parking lots.
It's cheaper if we do it one way, right? Okay, let's just do that. And so he's sensitive to people passing out. And apparently multiple people fainted at the heat of this rally. And then he decided, like, I'm going to make
done now.
lemons, take lemonade and make lemons.
Help us.
And we can spend a little more time.
Yes.
Personally, I enjoy this. We lose weight. You know? No, you lose weight. We could do this, lose 4 or 5 pounds. It's okay with me.
Kamala Harris is.
But some people have been waiting here for 2 days for this. So, you know, it's a little bit tough. It's a little bit tough, but they're going to try and get those doors open.
Yes.
And I don't know whose building this is, but if they had air conditioning, do you see any air conditioning?
They probably can't afford it, sir, in this economy.
That's right.
Pause it for a
Give us
second. Now, just, I think probably everybody knows this, but they could afford it if they could count on the people renting their facility to pay them. There is a story out today that the city of Minneapolis is owed $200,000 by Donald Trump. And we've talked about this in the past. The reason why Trump was so insistent on having outdoor rallies for the most part was because there's only so many places amongst these swing states that you're going to go.
Yep.
And over the course of the past 2 elections, the Trump campaign has burned so many of these locations by not paying them that they don't let him in anymore. And so he's got to go to outside places where the fees are much less.
Yes.
And he's just paying vendors. He's not paying for a facility.
And also, the security is much less. But
that's the point. Is that that's why they had begged him not to go to Butler, Pennsylvania, out into that field, but his campaign was like, we have no other place to go because they won't let us in the facilities here. So he's at a place, and they probably won't turn on the air conditioning because you don't trust them to pay for it.
We didn't pay for the air conditioning package.
Yeah, and so multiple
When
people.
economies are bad, people don't want to make more money. What?
It doesn't make any sense. Christy Gnomes was trying to get him on track, but that was what preceded him preemptively wrapping up, or way too early wrapping up, his town hall. He just didn't feel like doing it anymore. He got pissed off that people were passing out. It was interrupting whatever he was doing.
I can't get into a flow.
Yeah.
Is there more of this? Let's play this, and then we'll lead into it.
Yeah. So they're wrapping it up here, and this is how they transition into what has been reported as 39 minutes straight of just standing around listening to music.
Open, that feels good.
It does.
I feel it right now. I don't know who's out there trying to get in, but you know what I feel? Doesn't that feel nice?
Yes.
And you don't even have, there's nothing like outdoors. You don't even have the cost of an air conditioner.
Right.
They have them in this beautiful factory. Anyway, go ahead, please.
Yep. Well, sir, do you want to play your song and then greet a few people, or do you want to? Well, you had said you wanted to close with a specific song. or
Okay,
we can
let's
take
do a couple of
two more
mine.
fast questions.
So, Justin, how about a couple of really beauties, and we'll sit down, relax. Let me just give you the bottom line, though. We win Pennsylvania. We win this great Commonwealth.
Bottom line.
We are going to win the whole ball game. It's such an important place. And we relate. And we are up in the polls fairly nicely. Fairly nicely. But it's really important. And we're going to turn this country around. It's the greatest movement in the history of our country, MAGA, Make America Great Again. When Biden would go on, he used to go on, say, we will stop MAGA. We
So
will stop.
sad.
You know, remember with the purple background, the
Yes.
pink and purple? He looked like the devil, right?
Does
But
anybody
she's
know
worse than
what
him,
he's
remember
talking
it.
about?
But they would say, we're going to stop MAGA. MAGA means Make America Great,
Great again.
I mean, what are you going to stop? And we are indeed going to make America great again. America has never, we're a declining nation right now. We're a nation in decline. And we're not going to be in decline for long, let me tell you. Every country respected us 4 years ago. We were energy independent. We had everything. We had the greatest economy in the history of our country. We're going to bring it back bigger, better, and stronger than ever before. Go and vote. Let me hear that music, please. Let me
Everyone,
hear
let's
that
thank
music.
President
Loud,
Trump.
Nice and loud.
God
Okay.
bless you.
Now we got to turn that down. Now, okay, we
Let's
got to turn that
send
down.
President Trump back to
We
the
got to
White
turn that
House.
music off. Okay, and we're replacing it with non-licensed music, and just give you a. What's going on here? They did this for 39 minutes. He just stood on stage and listened. They played Ave Maria twice.
And Hallelujah, but the Shrek cover from Shrek 2, a woman singing it, not the Jeff Buckley version.
All right, we're gonna just watch him stand here, listen to music for a minute, and then let's cut to the other one where he's still listening to music.
This is not a loop, folks, by the way. We're going to let this run.
This is just the unlicensed music that we can actually play without
No,
getting
it's
dinged.
much more upbeat. It's very maudlin.
Yeah, but there he goes. Now he's
touching.
directing music now. I think he was supposed to be doing questions at this point. Someone may have yelled out like, "What do you think of your daughter?" And he starts to do this thing.
Voluptuous.
All right, so let's cut to with this music. We will cut to. We've had problems with the music rights in the past, folks. So wait, just go to the get his image up, and then you can play the music. I can even do this. I'll play the Rose or Lawrence Welk.
That the Rose is much more like what
Yeah,
he
here we go.
was listening to.
All right, so this is just a different angle, and he's listening to the music. This is what's
Grandpa
going
gets
on.
his
There's just
favorite
different
song.
music. Christy Gnome's walking around. He's like, "What you doing?" And he's just standing there for
There's something wrong with him.
40 minutes.
There's something wrong with him. Like something wrong with him more than that was wrong before, right? Like,
Yeah.
Like he's not all there.
Grandpa's slowing down.
Yeah. She's like, Christina, you want to play? Can we play your favorite song, Grandpa? Yes, I'd like that very much. Oh my God. So apparently Kristi Noem was like shuffling on and off the stage frantically because they were supposed to be taking questions, and he's just like, I don't feel like it.
I don't want to take questions. I just want to listen to some music.
Still 30 seconds left.
What is he doing? I don't need to answer questions. Look it. I think people just want to see me having fun,
Don't they like this music? as much
chilling
as
out. Look it. I'll walk over here.
Noam's taking photos. He doesn't go into the crowd at all. You know, he's notoriously germaphobe.
Yeah,
so
wait, hold on. What's the?
he could have used this
I need a longer
opportunity
track list.
to do the Elizabeth Warren selfie line.
Yep,
but
there
that would
it
be,
is.
I don't want to touch him. I just want to be near him.
Well, I don't, maybe it's effective. I don't know for his people.
I mean, repeated stimulant use at that age of 78, I've seen can create some accelerating qualities in terms of someone's decline. Just saying, just throwing that out there.
Yeah, let's go to this as him. One of the reasons why, I don't know if he's nervous about this whole tariffs question. I mean, I should say that there is a value to tariffs. I mean, I do not, when we hear things like free trade, what we're talking about is free trade for a specific, we allow capital to freely trade. We don't necessarily allow labor to freely trade. And I think there is value in industrial planning for our country to say we want to invest in certain industries, both by providing funds, loans, whatever it is, but also to put other countries' industries at a disadvantage if we're trying to grow a specific industry. That's what a tariff is for. Tariff isn't to collect money.
That's what taxes are for.
That's what taxes are for. A tariff is to use money as a way of inhibiting the sales of one thing and increasing the sales of another. So in other words, I want to inhibit the sales of Chinese solar panels because I want to build a U.S. solar panel industry and to ramp up and get to a volume where prices can be lower. That's what happens with technology. The U.S. industry needs time. So I'm going to even the playing field or even tilt it towards the U.S. manufacturers by making Chinese solar panels that much more expensive. Somehow Donald Trump doesn't get this, and people keep asking him about it. This is, what is this? Isn't this number 5? Yeah.
This
Okay,
is
let's
Maria
play this with
Bartiromo.
his, one of his biggest fans in the media.
Oh, yeah.
Maria Bartiromo is here.
Your thinking is the threat of a 200% tariff will stop them from taking the car. So you won't actually have to do it, so you're not going to actually push.
Pause it. I mean, listen to how he has never said these words. He has said 200% tariff over and over again. He has never said the threat is going to do anything.
Yep.
He's actually said the reason why you don't have to worry about childcare. He hasn't made the direct line, but when he's asked a question, this was like a month ago at the New York Economics Forum or whatever it was. What's your plan for childcare? And he goes, we're not going to have to worry about it because we're going to do a 200% tariff and we're going to collect so much money that we can pay for whatever we want.
He doesn't even understand what a tariff does in that sense. And it's also the reason this, first of all, he canceled a CNBC interview today at the last minute. The polls have narrowed and between Harris and Trump on who's better for the economy. And I think the campaign knows that it's not like Harris is selling a vision for the economy that outside of the price gouging stuff, which I think is good, is that transformative. But the negatives for Trump are this tariff thing that people listen to this and they go, that sounds insane. And I think he's exacerbating it.
And that's why the business reporter is sitting here on Fox, basically walking him through what he's supposed to say.
Right.
And I don't even know if he even picks up on that.
And she's a partisan business reporter. That's why he canceled on CNBC, because they might have actually asked him a real question without coaching him.
Your thinking is the threat of a 200% tariff will stop them from taking the car. So you won't actually have to do it, so you're not going to actually push prices higher.
I never
That's your
until
thinking.
now I said 200. I'm using that just as a
But
figure
you
of
say
speech.
200 a lot.
Oh, I'll say 100, 200. I'll say 500. I don't care. They're not going to bring cars into this country from Mexico and destroy what car companies we have left. But much more than that, I'm going to
Yeah. It doesn't matter what he says.
Yeah, I mean,
100%.
I think he must. I think this is the reason why he's on CNBC. I canceled it. I mean, he must have gotten the word that like no one's buying this 200% tariff thing.
Right.
And so just make it like 200, 150, 500. It doesn't matter. I'm just talking.
He's just
Saying
lying.
things, okay.
Because Matt made this point before the show. No one even asks about the wall anymore. We were going to have a wall and Mexico was going to pay for it. Walls brought it up at the debate. But it's just, he's a liar. He's an obvious liar. And he just says whatever he can to get out of the conversation feeling like he won.
I'll make the tariff twice as high with that attitude.
And there's no carryover from one conversation to the next. And it could be within the span of 10 minutes. It doesn't matter.
He's going to outsource this to the Heritage Foundation.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the bottom line. They've done all the work. I didn't know what it was. I've looked at some of it good, some of it bad, but I don't need to know anything. New dad says on the IM, Chinese solar panels are so cheap already, there's no point in leveraging tariffs on them. It will only slow down adoption. It makes more sense for the government to cultivate industries producing the peripherals and the power control equipment that solar systems also require, which are industries where we already have substantial manufacturing here, in my opinion. You may be case, I was just using that as an example.
Right. But Biden did make an effort to do that. I mean, again, it's through this like hawkish China competitive angle, but the CHIPS Act did invest in domestic manufacturing on that front.
Oh, without a doubt.
That's the thing is a lot of the stuff like they're Democrats are already on it.
Yeah. Well, right. And I think I think it's reflective. Under Biden, we added hundreds of thousands of manufacturing jobs. Some of the numbers, it's hard to say because the campaign's advertising or the administration's advertising a bigger number than some experts say, but we lost manufacturing jobs under Trump, added them under Biden. That's just a cold, hard fact.
And that's not even like calculating COVID. I mean, There was a concerted effort by the Biden administration to do industrial planning. And manufacturing jobs have increased exponentially. Let's turn to, let's just do this Coachella story for a moment, and then we'll get back to sort of like Trump's intense ranting. Do we also have that Youngkin thing? All right, so after we play number 6, I want to play that Youngkin thing where he's addressing it. But here is a clip of that somebody took that was promoted by Republicans against Trump on Twitter of folks stranded in the desert, I guess. Coachella, it takes place where in California?
It's in Palm Springs, which the record for that part of the country was in October was just broken for temperature. It was 117 2 weeks ago in early October.
It's good. You lose weight.
The highest ever recorded. Yeah, he said that. In Pennsylvania. But like, this is an outdoor venue in the desert. So
this was Saturday. And apparently there was a Trump supporter from Las Vegas who showed up with a ton of weapons because
it's a Trump rally.
It's a Trump rally, and why wouldn't you?
America.
The Trump people are trying to make it like they were going to be a victim of a third assassination attempt.
I've got bad news for Trump. If he wants to say that anytime someone comes armed to his rally, that could constitute an assassination attempt, that means bad things for his events. So Trump left the stage after a 90-minute address, and apparently there had been 20 buses that took them out to this site, and only 3 on the way back because you don't need them there as quick. You can save money. It's about the economy.
You've already got the money by that point.
Here is a stranded Coachella, or I guess a Trumpella goer, basically just, I don't know if they were streaming this live or what.
This looks identical to the Omaha one from 4 years ago.
This isn't normal. Apparently the buses are no longer coming, or at least there used to be like 20 buses when we were being brought here, but now there's only like 3 buses operating, and it's an absolute,
He says it tastes like water.
it's just chaos. Absolute chaos. All of us are stranded here. Everyone's stranded here.
I mean, he only cared about getting them to the rally, but not getting them back, right? They didn't have much
Something
I guess
something
maybe
went wrong.
the rally ended early and they didn't pay for him to come back soon enough. I don't know. What, how do you F that?
Well, if you're cheap, but
Look at this.
this is barely 5 miles from the parking lot.
It's a warm desert night. You'll be fine. Lose weight.
Sorry, excuse me. There's supposed to be like 20 buses here, and there's
All those MAGA hats in the dark. It's just-
Exactly.
everyone's starting to freak out.
Can you imagine a
People
worse
that go
place to
down
be
the
that's surrounded by
street.
like 100 guys in MAGA hats getting
I don't know
fiercely
how long.
frustrated?
I mean, look, I don't pretend to know this area. I guess it's adjacent to Palm Springs. But it doesn't seem like there's a ton of infrastructure.
No, I don't imagine.
Somebody, and they've been running us around through all the different streets.
Incidentally, we also rented out the porta
Let's
potties
go
to ourselves
east
here,
and then
so
going west,
we made
and
a
then
killing.
east again, and then
Killing.
west and-
All right, pause it.
An
All
absolute
right, we don't need to see any more of this. Incidentally, the campaign manager of the Trump campaign, $23 million he's made in the past 2 years.
Really?
That's what was reported, something like that, where he's got consulting firms that have been
Oh,
working.
of
I mean, it's
course.
not all net profit, and plus the taxes.
Which is interesting because there was a report this morning in the New York Times about how essentially Donald Trump has the most skeleton campaign staff possible. While Kamala Harris has hundreds of people working on her campaign in terms of payroll. And last election, he had hundreds as well. He only has 11 people on the payroll for his official campaign committee.
That just seems bizarre.
Because this is what we've been trying to say. They are using this as a fundraising mechanism for his legal bills, for all this other stuff that he wants to do, and then he has these scams that he's putting out. Like they're taking the money, and maybe there will be investigation later. My prediction is that they're taking the money out of these campaign committees or PACs, and it's going towards his legal bills, and they're shorter on money than their fundraising numbers would indicate.
Just buy a watch.
Yeah.
$100,000 watch worth about $15.
Yep.
And coincidentally, it's all Saudi emirs who buy it. I don't know why.
So
There's something about the Saudis they love.
got
Really
great
popular in the
taste.
Gulf
Yes.
states.
great taste.
Victor Orban bought 17 of these. Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.